Ladies and gentlemen, we are all wondering what the next Nintendo console will look like, be like, play like. We just want to know something. So since we are speculating, I went online and I scoured the internet for an entire day, and I found every single Switch 2 mock-up or concept art I could find. And today we are going to rank those from best to worst. And I think this is a fun idea that can kind of switch up, get it, the Switch 2 content. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So yes, I am basically fiending at this point for Nintendo to come out and say anything about this next console. I love covering the leaks, but I do want to switch up the content some because it can get repetitive, and I think it would be fun to rank what these things could look like from best to worst. Before we get started, if you could, please hit a like and subscribe. We are very, very close to 7,000 subscribers. It's not a lot to the big YouTubers, but to me, I appreciate every single view, like, subscribe. I appreciate it all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, and let's get right into this video. So I have all the concept or mock-ups right here, and then I've created a tier list over here. We have S tier, A tier, maybe, don't want it, and Nintendo is on drugs again. That's right, Nintendo is eating Mario's magic mushrooms. So we'll just look at these, give our thoughts and opinions, and then we will rank them. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So this is the first one we have, and it's basically like a Nintendo Entertainment System theme. At first glance, it looks kind of cool, but then you see that it's a rectangle, and that would be insanely uncomfortable. Maybe not holding it like this, but as soon as you're touching the top buttons, I just don't like it. The concept, colors, and color scheme is cool, but this is not good. We do not want this one. So this is Super Nintendo themed, or Super Famicom, with the buttons. I do hope that Nintendo goes with this color scheme. Like, I would love to have these kind of colors. I do like how the start and select is purple for the Super Nintendo. It's got the nice shape. It's not horrible, so I'll put it in maybe. I don't know what kind of theme this is. Maybe like, oh, so this one is Nintendo 64 themed, and I'm only saying that because of the joysticks kind of look like N64. Yeah, I don't like these little pointy things right here. Like, I think a console that does have these little things coming down could work, but not like this. And then look, if I could just read, it literally says Nintendo 64 Switch right there. The power of reading. Yeah, I don't want this one. So this is a Game Boy Switch. Don't think I like this one. I do like how it's rounded right here. It has that little curve on it. I think the Game Boy did have that curve. D-pad looks too small. Start and select down here is pissing me off. Wait, there's start and select down here and it's up there at the same time. What the hell's going on here? The joysticks, they're okay. But just having this square shape, it cannot be comfortable. And the crazy thing is, Nintendo did patent something in that shape here a couple months ago. We don't want it. Look, so far no S or A tier. This isn't good so far. Okay, this might work right here. We've got the GameCube Switch, and as ugly as it looks, especially with this right here, maybe if they fix that somehow, this could potentially work. The shape looks way more comfortable. I was opposed to larger consoles, but seeing how popular Steam Deck is, it works. I haven't used the Steam Deck yet, but I have huge freaking hands, so a bigger console might be in favor for people like me. I love the color scheme. I hope we get a Nintendo console eventually in this color scheme, especially having the yellow joystick right here. It just looks awesome. It's still off a little bit, so I'll put that one in maybe. So this one looks a little bit more modern. This isn't a Switch though, because it doesn't switch. Like, I'm not saying this couldn't Bluetooth to your TV and work that way or something. I don't like the joysticks. I see the concept that they're going for. There's like too much play in them and they move too much, so it's kind of hard to be precise, especially if you're using something like a weapon wheel, but it looks a little bit better. If they had different joysticks, I would be in favor of this. Strictly for the joysticks, I have to say no. So here's something else. So I think this one was when the Wii U was out and the Switch hadn't been announced yet. This was like a concept of what the Switch could be, but I thought it was cool to include in here as well. It kind of looks like a mixture between a Wii U and a 3DS. I like the color scheme. Like, I really, really like it. It has a camera. That is something I do think the next Nintendo console is going to have. We'll put it in maybe, just for whatever reason. So this is one of the mock-ups that was going viral like a month or two ago. Like, I don't know why it went so crazy and people were like, oh my god, this could really be something like that, because this looks this looks dumb. Like, I hate this. Why would the Joy-Cons could slide up or down? I don't see that being practical. It just kind of pisses me off the more I look at it. Like, if Nintendo did something like this, I truly would be disappointed. Maybe it would work as time went on, but I hope we do not get anything that looks like this. So we have our first Nintendo is on drugs again. So again, this kind of could work like a folding console, maybe. I don't know how the technology is. I know there is that, I think, Samsung phone that folds, and people that do use them really enjoy them. I just see it being a hazard, like especially with children. I just feel like it would be too easy to break. The controllers, I think, are better. They kind of look like they would be more comfortable, especially the way that they like edge down. I feel like they would fit into your palm really nice. The folding screen, just like, it looks cool, especially like for clickbait, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god, this looks so cool, what is it? But the more you think about it from a practical point, like if you folded that screen down, the screen would be like this fat, and it just wouldn't look right. It wouldn't be good to transport. You know what? Nintendo's again on drugs with that one. So this is basically just the Switch with a foldable screen. If the screen was more thin, then it wouldn't be that bad folding down. Or if like the Joy-Cons were more raised in the screen, when you folded down the other screen, it would just fit perfectly. I just don't think a folding screen is the best way to go. Does it look cool? Sure. But you have to think a large majority of gamers are children, and children break freaking everything. I have 2 daughters, and they're both on their second Switch Lite already. They just bring me stuff, and it's broken. Magically broken. And that's a more durable console. Something with a folding screen is a recipe for disaster. I could see tons of things going wrong with something like this. People are returning their consoles, and inevitably, I think it would be a failure. So they are in fact on drugs. Once again, Nintendo, if you need help, reach out. Look, we have no S or A tiers. These concepts do look cool, but from a practical point, they're not great. Okay, this one I think I can truly get behind. It looks just like a Switch. It's blurry in this picture, but the actual picture had like super crisp screen, so I'm gonna say a better quality screen, and it looked really bright. So an OLED screen, minimum 1080p, and the Joy-Cons look super comfortable, and they look like they can slide off. I don't know if you've ever used an Xbox Elite controller, but on the bottom of the controller, I don't know if I have a controller in here, but on the bottom of the controller, it's like this almost like mesh filling thing that's super grippy, and that looks like that's what that would be, so that would be super comfortable. If Nintendo released something like this, like an OLED screen that looks great, better Joy-Cons, just a better console all around, I think I'd be perfectly fine with this. So I think we have our first win. This can easily go to S tier. So I have 2 pictures for this one right here. The Joy-Cons look crazy. You know, when I'm thinking about it right now, like the way these move, I think that's exactly how the joystick on the 3DS was, and I just didn't like it. Like, I think it worked perfectly fine, but I don't like it being so flat. The buttons look kind of cool, but this almost looks like an iPad, right? Well, they have another picture right here, and they basically click onto the screen. That does look very cool, but again, what are they doing? Like, this one looks more forgiving, kind of like the way a 3DS would fold. I just have to give an A for effort on this concept art regardless. This looks so freaking cool. It looks cool, but I don't want something like this. So this one kind of looks strange, but like it could work. You see it's folding, and it's kind of like a 3DS, the way it folds. And this would fold down, and you see there's holes right there that would fit your Joy-Cons, so it would be flat. Something like this would be cool. Like, I seen another patent recently where Nintendo was trying to make a console that folds in half and breaks apart so you can pass the screen to somebody. This potentially could be something like that. Like, if this screen could pop off and you could use it like this, or you could use this screen together or something, I don't know. This is the best folding console we've seen so far. This looks kind of practical. This screen is fat as hell though, which is kind of funny, but I guess it would maybe have to be like that. The Joy-Cons aren't different, but maybe some way, somehow internally they would be. And I could actually see this being something Nintendo would really release. If they did anything folding related, like, I could definitely see it being like this. So I'll actually give that one A tier. So I have a couple other pictures right here, and this one is really cool. As you can see, it's a Switch, but it has 2 for the Switch 2. This one looks neat. I don't know what this is. Maybe this would be the dock some way, somehow. But I really like the shape of these Joy-Cons, how they're edged out like that. I really like how these joysticks look right here. Like there's a little divot in them. They even have the Steam Deck thing right here for the D-pad. Not a fan of that, but it could work. I don't know. I've never used a Steam Deck, and a lot of people do enjoy it. But something also slides out down here, and I don't know what that would be. Like, I'm very confused on what that is. If you know in the comments, let me know. And then we can also see it from the back. The kickstand looks freaking amazing. Basically like a Switch OLED kickstand, just rounded on the bottom. I freaking love this one, dude. I seriously love this one. I'm not sure what this brown thing is, like the mat. Maybe that is a Bluetooth dock. This one is going S tier for sure. And then we have this one right here, which is basically a Switch 2, like a Switch 2 Lite or something. From a practical point, this one looks fantastic. This looks like something anybody would use. This just looks like a better version of the Switch Lite. So if you do get a Switch 2 and then they make a Lite version of it and it looked like this, I might pick something up like this. One of the problems I have with the Switch Lite is it just feels like a little flimsy. I would love to own this console, so Nintendo, you should definitely make something like this. This would be the Switch I would take outside of the house, and the other one I would just leave here. I think I'm gonna go S tier with that one as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our Switch 2 ranking. We're making a tier list for something that doesn't even exist. So does this video even exist? Do you even exist? Is any of this real? I can see some of these working. I can see some of these not working, and that's what's fun about this. I would love to hear from you guys, and let me know what you think the next Switch should look like. What kind of features do you want it to have? I would seriously love to hear from you guys. If you could, please hit a like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram so we can keep the community growing, and come hang out with me on stream. I'll be streaming tonight playing Twilight Princess and opening some Pokemon cards right here on YouTube. But you guys know me, I'll see you soon with a new video. Peace out!